GRYSKLL.
All the motherfuckers that still aren't able to allow themselves to acknowledge this shit. I think that is like, now I am allowing myself to see how fucked up that is as well. Like I'll listen to a motherfucker talk and I'm just like, yo, I was you not that long ago, but I don't know how to reach out to you so you can actually hear me.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's gonna be, I'm hoping that there's somebody that I can actually, I'll see like a breakthrough in where I'll know how to speak to people like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, I feel like my sons are like that. Like they're bottling some shit up. They don't even realize that they're bottling it up. And I haven't quite figured out how to speak in a manner that allows them to hear me. Because I don't want them to end up being damn near 50 years old and then being like, Eureka!
Having this shit forced upon them in a violent way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I do think like these generations coming up now are different in that a lot of this shit is out in the open now because of social media. Like a lot of people, the self-diagnosing and all that shit is not okay with me, but there are conversations that are happening around it that I think is going to open them up to being able to deal with it sooner, as long as they don't, drug themselves to death too early, which also is a larger concern. Like motherfuckers are getting medications for shit that they don't really need because doctors, like, it's money. Like their diagnoses of things that never existed until like they were like, oh wait, there's a market here, make a drug, get it out there. You know what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden everybody's ADHD and everybody's fucking autistic and everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I think there's still gonna be some kind of breakthrough with these younger generations where it's gonna allow them to confront a lot of the shit that they're dealing with sooner than it was for us in generations before us. You know what I'm saying? Like we went from like the boomers were like just tough all the time. Like motherfuckers went through World War II and blah blah blah. And my dad went through, Vietnam and Agent Orange and blah blah blah, and he was okay. And, and we're seeing that be that it's slowly getting chipped away. But then there's the doom scrolling and the tales of global warming and like we're not going to be here at the 2030 blah 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 type shit. So they feel hopeless. So they're like, well, why deal with shit now? Let me just drug myself. So they're dealing with a different animal, but kind of the same earlier. You know what I mean? Like my daughter's 16 and she's already thinking about these things. You know what I mean? And I feel like that is, and seeing people like us being able to speak about these things at our age, whereas we didn't see our parents talk about any of this shit. At least I didn't.
Yeah, hell no. My mother still won't talk about shit like this.
Right, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Like a real conversation with her about shit.
So I feel like it's actually making it's there's a little bit of additional hopefulness there for, I mean, even the way a lot of hip hop is being made. You know, like we're being, like a lot of people are being a little more aware of what they're saying and how they're saying. You know what I mean? Like, and we're hearing, like I think I was talking about Homeboy Sandman last night, like he has a song of being appreciative of his fucking radiator working in his house. You know what I'm saying? Like just being able to acknowledge the small things that keep us going from day to day. You know what I mean? People like Open Mike Eagle, like being able to talk about his divorce and, you know, the way he got through it. Like we didn't have that coming up. Yeah. It was like, this bitches ain't shit, but you know what I'm saying? Like, like I think there are things that are kind of opening up that we didn't have when we were growing up. So it makes me feel a little more hopeful for the younger generations and the generations that are going to come from them.
I'm definitely, my son was the first example for me. Like when he started to be like, no, Dad, this, like he points some shit out, and you can see that he learned how to walk himself through like logical thought, research, and coming to conclusions in a way that was pretty much undeniable.
Right.
Like, shit, they're really teaching these kids. And then he coupled that with being able to articulate his feelings and talk about some of his mental wellness challenges that he has, like acknowledging those, and him being willing to go to counseling because I was taking him early. I think that contributed, but him also being, I mean, he's been going to counseling since he was 4. I've been like, making sure that he gets taken to anytime I think there's something going on in his life that might be stressful, that I don't know for sure how to walk through, and he's been going. But he's also, I think, in a generation where I think a lot of his peers had something similar. So I think, yeah, the kids do have that available to them. I hope that's going to make a difference for them. But I'm your points that you're making about 2030 and the fears for, there really is no hope for the world after 2030, and the futility that,
right,
what that brings, I can't even fathom and imagine how that would make me begin to think and respond as a human being in general, especially seeing all the shit that you see in the world today. Like when we were growing up, at least there were some filtered images that came to us. They ain't shit filtered.
We didn't have the internet.
Yeah. Now these kids, everything that we would try, that people sheltered us from seeing, is right in their faces from the time they're a toddler.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Stop.
So the increased school shootings or whatever, all these different increased incidences of violence and seemingly inhumane acts that are being visited on people, to me, I feel like that shit makes shit feel futile. So I don't know myself to think about this kid seeing that shit.
The wild thing is, though, like, America is still the safest it's ever been in history.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we can't acknowledge that because we're fed so much, so like just constantly, that we can't see. Like if we look at the numbers between like now and just go back to 81, like shit back then was really fucked up. Like just Maryland alone, like it was far less safe than it is now. By a lot. It's not even close. New York, not even close. You know what I'm saying? Like, the world is a much safer place than it was then. But we aren't fed that. We're fed all the violence, all the time.
Mm-hmm. Which creates nothing but fear and anxiety and
yeah. Like, so remember when we were having the cookouts and shit at the other spot?
Yeah.
A lot of people that came through. So one of the people that came through was a pastor. Because people were talking about how Columbia or Howard County was becoming worse than Baltimore because of all the crime, et cetera, et cetera. And he was the only person that was like, wait, what? And like he and I started like going in on these cats and sharing like statistics and shit like that. Like white dude, like tall, slender white dude, a church pastor, whatever, like he connected real heavy on that shit because we were just feeding motherfuckers like, yeah, you want some bullshit, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he started coming to the cookouts, because he was like, I'm glad someone else actually knows. He had grew up here, so he actually knew what was going on. He was like, yeah, Howard County is safer than it's ever been by a lot. Like when the crack epidemic hit, Columbia got hit hard, really hard. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about any of that shit now. But motherfuckers talk like it's
Gray. Control, I'm in. Yes, something big just hit us.
100 million volts between cloud and ground. 15 million volts per mile. And time. Swallow your dime. Span the universe. Human on human crime. Don't whine or we'll bust you great. Redundant. Outstandingly a puppet. Indivisible. Like an atom. Also invisible. Elementary particle. MCs have ego. Experiment is illegal.